Next up is the Xian clan. So, Xian clan, what does it do? Xian clan actually is probably the best support clan in the game because it basically does a bit of everything. And since it does a bit of everything, it will help your two other clans do what they want to do, plus push it a little forward. And basically that's what the Xian clan does. You have if you have Goansul with it, Goansul is aggressive. Well, Xian will help you push that aggressivity and have even more. If your clan is doing, I don't know, giving corruption tokens with Ruknarl, for example, Xian will help you give even more corruption tokens on the other side and help you this way. And that's how it kind of plays out, since all the cards, you'll find basically all the different keywords in the game. Well, almost. You don't have Umbra, I think, but you almost find all the different keywords on the cards, and they will help you push the other two clans in the direction that you need at the moment you need. Said like that, you could think that basically Xian is just a little more of the other two clans, but actually it's stronger than that, because there are 4 cards, which are the Dancing Dragons, the Valine, and the Xian, who can also target cards on the other side of the board, so your opponent. And actually, when you play Xian, your opponent, if he really wants to play well, basically needs to be very wary of what cards he's playing, because each card he's putting on the board is basically giving you new options with these 4 cards. And that's very important to keep in mind. And sometimes there are very strong cards like Nityananda or things like that, that you will not want to play to avoid giving that option to your opponent if you're playing against Xian. And Nityananda is a very good example because it has 4 of shift cost. So if you play Nityananda, most of the time you'll have a hard time getting it out of the board, meaning that if your opponent plays Xian, he will have an available Nityananda for most of the game, and you need to keep that in mind. So basically that's, I would say, the Xian clan. Now let's take a look at the cards individually. First one we have is 3 Wishes. So 3 Wishes is a nice card. It's like Bundo, you'll need to sometimes gamble a bit to try to find the cards you need. And there's multiple ways of playing it. Either you're playing it to get a maximum number of cards in your hand, and in that case, you'll take a look at what are the clans that you've played, the clan cards that you've already drawn from your library, which ones are left, and basically know your odds to get the most cards you're looking for. Other way to play 3 Wishes is if you're looking for specific solutions at a specific time, and in that case you will know which clan you're looking for and how to activate it. If all clans, I would say, are equal in your library, it's often a good idea not to say Xian and to say one of the other two, because quick reminder that All-in-One and Shenong will be drawn with 3 Wishes anyway, whatever the clan you've selected. And if Xian is in play, same thing. All the level 3s, you'll be able to grab them with the 3 Wishes. So I would say more often than not, you're not saying Xian, you're saying one of the 2 other clans if you're trying to go for cards. If you're trying to go for solutions, there's often a lot of good solution in Xian, so that can be a different story. Other thing to note about 3 Wishes, first of all, is he works well with the Byuyunjia. since with the Buyunja, you're probably, if you're trying to get your tokens this way, you're gonna try to grab all the cards of a specific clan, and Three Wishes works very well with that. And the fact that it has 2 token slots can really help, because if you free a token with the Buyunja, then you put it, if you had another token left, you put it on Three Wishes. Maybe you draw 2 or 3 cards of the clan you were looking for, and then you can put another token on Three Wishes and maybe draw up to the 5 cards of the clan you were looking for, and get an additional token that way. And so Three Wishes is a pretty nice combination with the Buyunja. Other thing to note is he only has 1 in terms of shift cost. So once you've used 1 token on him, the shift is free, and that can be pretty helpful when you're trying to put down a new clan color, for example, or if all your level 1s have been used and you have a strong one in hand and you want to replay it on the board. Next card is 1000 Faces. 1000 Faces is a bit like Knobo. Basically, it's a easy draw one at the beginning of the game when you're trying to go through your library, when you're trying to develop your game. So it's an easy draw one, which can quickly become a draw 2 or even a draw 3 on the right circumstances. Of course, it becomes a lot stronger once Xian is in play, because the draw 3 is a lot easier to get once Xian is in play. Basically, you only need to have a level 3 above the 1000 Faces and you're good to go. And like Three Wishes, it has 2 token slots, which can be very strong, because if you manage to have that draw 3 effect, you're going to be using your 2 tokens for 6 cards instead of 3, in 2 turns instead of 1, but you can quickly draw up to 6 cards, plus the card that you probably got when you initially played the card, or the cards that you got when you initially played 1000 Faces. So it's a strong drawing engine, and when you have Three Wishes and 1000 Faces, that what's basically Xian has a good drawing potential, and it's a good thing to keep that in mind. And you might need that to activate the Buyunja, for example. So very good. And same thing, since you have 2 token slots, if you use your 2 token slots on 1000 Faces, it becomes free to shift out. So can be an interesting point to keep in mind. Next is All-in-One, and All-in-One is special, I would say. When you begin, when you start playing this game, you kind of think All-in-One is actually very cheated, and if you have it in your opening hand, you're kind of unbeatable, and if you don't, you're really missing out. And while it's true that having All-in-One in your opening hand can be helpful, actually the more you play, the more you'll see that All-in-One is not as strong as he looks. The fact that he's from all clans and basically will help you develop your game is pretty strong. Don't get me wrong, but first of all, you're losing a lot of tempo, because when he's put into play, he doesn't do anything. That's the first thing, and he's going to be a target, and he's going to be a target with bounty, meaning that if your opponent targets him, he will get your All-in-One, and he will draw a card. And so if you've played All-in-One, lost tempo playing All-in-One, and your opponent gets rid of him, you're getting behind, because you've lost tempo, and he used a card but won that card back, and you just lost a card. So if you have it in your opening hand, you really need to make sure that you will be able to at least put out an extra clan, or your 2 extra clans with him without being disrupted for him to really be useful. Even if I have him in my opening hand, I'll probably try to develop without using all-in-one, and only use all-in-one if really needed. It's a card that the more I play, the less I want in my hand, and really almost only useful when you want to play. You have the Byunja and you want it as a joker to have 5 cards of the same clan in your hand. So all-in-one, when you start playing, you think it's really strong, but actually not that much. One thing to keep in mind is if you have Justice as a passive, then playing all-in-one and being able to use all-in-one to really develop a new clan is a lot easier, because you'll be able to kind of abuse that ethereal token and make sure that your all-in-one stays for a while. But even then, it's not guaranteed. You can get Ungo on your all-in-one. You can have a bombing unit that gets rid of your all-in-one. You can have Niranjan that gets rid of your all-in-one. So even with the Justice ethereal token, all-in-one isn't always as good as that. And if you play it and you're not able to get an effect from him, basically you're losing in tempo, and you're not losing the game directly, but it can hurt. Next, we have Dancing Dragon, and Dancing Dragon is a very strong card. All-in-one is probably a card you want early in your hand to be able to get use from it. Dancing Dragon is a card that you want a little later in your hand, usually, because you want to have options on the board to be able to play it. So either options on your side, because typically you're playing very aggressive with Demon Guardians, and that can become a new Demon Guardian to try to disrupt your opponent, or play things that your opponent played, for example, a Nikilesh to draw 3, a Ungo eventually to make the other player lose tempo and lose one of his development, and lose one of his clan on the board. So very strong card, and one where if you're playing against Xian, a very important card to track, because you need to know if where are the dancing dragons, if possible, to know if you're in danger to get hit by one of your cards back because of that card. Funny interaction to note on Dancing Dragon is with Riyadh. So Riyadh is from all clans and has also all levels. So even if you play Riyadh as a level 2 or a level 3, you can still copy him with Dancing Dragon. And the same thing with Ungo from Galmi. When you can always aim Riyadh with the Ungo, even if he has been played as a level 3 or level 2. So nice thing to keep in mind with Dancing Dragon if you're playing Xian plus Rook, for example. Next we have Dalister. Dalister, actually I say Dalister, but maybe it's Dalister. It's a very strong card. Except for Abilasha, it's the only card that has a Secret Shift, which have talked about it a little bit when I've talked about Justice and so on, but your discard becomes your hand, which is very strong, and you need actually one less card to do your Secret Shift, so you can consider that Dalister has a little 1 here instead of a 2 when you're taking a look at shifting Dalister, so that's strong. And when you play him, well, you at least get one card, draw one card. It's pretty easy to get 2, and you can often get 3. So it's come in play, draw 3, which is pretty strong even for a level 2. And you can reactivate that with tokens, so it can quickly become a draw 6. And you're playing tokens on it, which will lower the shifting cost, and then you can almost shift it for free, or not too far from free, to bring back one of your strong level 2s in play and get that effect. So Dalister is a huge card in Xian, and one of the pivotal cards. And it also helps, you'll see that 4 out of 5 of the Xian level 2 cards are really strong. So playing one of the level 2s, then shifting it and putting Dalister in its place, drawing the cards, and then doing a secret shift on Dalister to bring that level 2 back, and doing his effect again can sometimes be back breaking for your opponent. So Dalister, very strong. Next is Neo. Neo is one of the, I would say, hardest level 2s to use, because it will capture the cards that you will be targeting. So first thing is, sometimes you can use Neo without capturing the cards. How do you do that? Well, if you can try to abuse the ethereal token. So if Justice is in play, you can and you shift Neo underneath a level 3 that has the ethereal token, you'll be able to play twice the level 3 effect without capturing the card. So on the Justice, that's very strong. On the Xian, that's very strong. On the Abilasha, that can be very strong. On the Goansul, that can be very strong. Most of the level 3s, except maybe for Phoenix and Tomorrow, Rook a little less as well, and Abu Nakashi probably a little less, but all the other level 3s, if your level 3 is has the ethereal token, shifting Neo underneath is huge. So that's one way of doing it. The other one is on the cards that have ethereal and have an effect when they come into play. And basically there's 2 that I'm thinking of. There's a third one. There's one in Abu Nakashi, but that one is usually not as useful. But there's the Galmi avatar, and there's Riyadh. And if you're going for, I would say, an aggressive corruption game, where you're trying to fill your opponent with corruption tokens to either win with the Galmi, or just lock his hand and give him out 5 to 6 corruption tokens, so his hand is 1 or 2 cards left only. In that case, just playing Galmi and then playing a Neo on either side and aiming the Galmi twice. Of course, if your opponent has more bounty cards than you do, that will give him 3 corruption tokens very quickly. And same thing with Riyadh. If you have less cards than your opponents on the board, you're playing Riyadh, he gets a corruption token. You're playing a Neo on the side, he's gonna get 2 others very quickly. And if you have like dancing dragons with it, not too far, that can be a 4th token, then a 5th, and you can be very close to winning with the Galmi passive, and his hand will just be a lot less strong because he won't be able to draw as much. So Neo works well with these cards, and that's why one of the composition with Rook that I find playable is actually Xian plus Galmi plus Rook, because you can work on that corruption. You'll be able to handle when the Galmi passive will be played or not, will be in play or not, because you'll be able to choose when you play your Galmi. You'll be able to corrupt him with Galmi, and you'll also be able to corrupt him with Riyadh, and then use all the Xian cards to load up on that corruption, and that can sometimes win you games in a fun way. And there's also the Galmi plus Rook that can work together in terms of token with the Byunja, which can be used and then quickly be abused with Riyab, choosing which level 3s you put on the top of your library for it to shadow step in it again. Other thing about Neo is sometimes you can capture cards, and so first of all, how does it work now, and then how will it work? Currently, you can you can activate multiple cards, multiple times the same card in the same round currently, meaning that if let's take an example that is pretty easy. You have Abhilasha, you put a Dark Cultist under your... no, you're playing Abhilasha. With Abhilasha, you exile your opponent's Xian. With that Xian effect, you can re-aim Abhilasha and target his another card in his discard. And you can there's a lot of things going on with Dark Cultist, with Dancing Dragons, where you can kind of do that multiple times, and if you're playing Abhilasha, you can get rid of all the Valine, all the Dancing Dragons from your opponent's discard if you're playing a Dark Cultist under an Abhilasha, for example, with that aiming the same card multiple times. This rule will be changed with the new Asria clan who's coming into play, and Neo will be affected by this rule, because before you could put a Neo underneath a Xian, for example, and to the left or to the right of free, and before you could do Neo on Xian, have a strong Xian play that will capture the Xian, and then you Neo the free. With the free, you switch the Xian. Even with the Xian, you target the free again, and basically you're able to use Xian twice and keep all your cards open. Now with the new rule, doing that won't work. You'll be able to Neo on your Xian, then you'll be able to Neo on the free and free the Xian, but your free will be captured. So you'll at least have one of the cards that is captured. And before you could just Neo on the Xian, and then with the effect of Xian, you aim free, and then re-free the Xian and have it this way. That doesn't work anymore because you're aiming Xian twice, doing it this way. Last thing to say about Neo, because it's a complicated card, when Rook is passive, actually Neo becomes a lot stronger, because the cards that you capture, you won't need to release them. You will be able to shadow step any cards from your hand in the place of these cards, and that can be very useful when all your level 1s are full, all your level 2s are full. You shift a Neo inside, aim 2 very interesting cards that are captured, and then if you still have level 1s and level 2s in your hand, you'll be able to play them in the place of these two captured cards for free, and you won't need to shift them in. So Neo actually becomes stronger with Rook as a passive. Next is Pongu. Pongu is just an aggressive card. You can destroy or capture any level 1 or level 2 card. So destruction will only be an open card. So it's not as strong as Hempo, for example, because Hempo, you can switch the cards around before you destroy them, and which you cannot do with Pongu. But Pongu has the versatility to also be able to capture instead of destroying. So that used to be very, very strong. Now, when you have Rook as a passive, it's a little less, because we know that captures has gone down in terms of value. So the destruction is still strong, but you can't choose any level 1 or any level 2. It's only going to be the open cards, and you can't shift them around to target these open cards. And the capture is not as strong, but still a strong card. You'll still often be happy to have it in your hand, and if you disrupt your opponent with it, that can really set you up pretty good. Other thing to note, it has a veteran, so you're able to get it back with a Spirit of Smook or with the Smook if you're playing GosuX plus Xian. One thing I forgot to say about Dancing Dragon, be careful if you're targeting Knobo. Why is that? So you could think that with Dancing Dragon, if you have, I don't know, a Shenong and a Xian that are aligned, you play your Dancing Dragon, you target the Knobo, you place the Dancing Dragon underneath Shenong and Xian, and you at least draw 2. Well, actually, no, because all the Shenong, all the cards that are multi-clan, they're not all the clans of the game, they're only all your clans. So that means that Shenong will not be Galmi, and Xian will not be Galmi. So basically, your Dancing Dragon will draw 0 when you target Knobo. It can sometimes still be useful just for that shift 2 cards in your in a row effect, but you will never be able to draw with Dancing Dragon aiming an opponent's Knobo. If you have Galmi, then yes, sure. But if it's your opponent's Knobo, be careful, you won't draw with the Dancing Dragon. Shenong, I'll go pretty quickly on that. Actually, it's a lot like All-in-One. It's a card that sometimes will help you develop, but most of the time will be a loss of tempo. It's bounty, so if it gets hit by the opponent, he will be able to draw a card. And it's a level 2, so it's even less strong than All-in-One, because All-in-One basically helps you get your clans out. Level 2, you usually sometimes it can help get your level 3s out, but it's a lot less often. So it has the Shadow Step availability that has been added not so long ago, which does help the card a little, especially if you're getting 2-racked for 0 or things like that, or basically the opponent is doing a play that is going to force you to pass if you're not able to do anything else because you've used your tokens. In that case, Shenong, you can at least try to activate the Shadow Step. Worst case, it will be captured, but then you'll be able to play again and sometimes avoid passing for nothing thanks to the Shadow Step. But other than that, probably the weakest card, level 2 cards of Xian. Next is Valine. Valine is very strong, exactly like Dancing Dragon. Opponent needs to be very careful of what level 1s and level 2s he plays, because Valine will be able to copy any one of them. The strong cards, especially like Nitianda, like Kwae, like Turak, like Sati, or all those kind of busted level 2 cards, he'll be able to play them. And he gets the Wondrous Token on the way, which can sometimes help to do shifts, and can also be interesting for getting Valine back with Navage, for example. So a thing to keep in mind. Xian, I won't talk too much about Xian because it's basically a Valine, but even stronger. Xian has access to the whole board and can play any card of the board, use the effect of any card of the board. So one of the strongest card in the game, easily. It is multi-level, so that means that sometimes it can be, sometimes it's an asset, but sometimes it's not. Typically, we've talked about it, but with Orga, if you have Xian in your discard, opponent plays Orga, you'll have your Xian will be exiled. Same thing with the Genius, having Xian in your discard, Genius will always send it back to in your library, like All-in-One, like Shenong. And it's not always what you want, because maybe you were looking to Nitianda the Xian, or Valine and Nitianda, or Valine Rehab, to get your Xian back and be able to play it again, and it just goes back in your library. But Xian, huge card, and the whole Xian clan is usually seen as a S tier, and some people think Abilasha is stronger, some people think Xian is stronger, but basically these two clans are the strongest, and without too much contention on that. Last is the Byuyunja. So Byuyunja, at the end of your turn, you may discard 5 cards from the same clan to unlock a token. When you take a look at that, you think that, wow, that's a lot of resources used to just get a single token. And single token draws you 1 card, maybe 3 if you use it on the right card in play. Sometimes 4 with 3 wishes, but you really need to be lucky. And here you're using 5 just to get a token. And the more you play with this Byuyunja, and the more you will see that it's actually pretty doable, and actually getting multiple tokens with this one. Because when you start playing, you think that, okay, this Byuyunja is just to finish off the game. I need to win 2 tokens with my other Byuyunja, and then the last, okay, then I can let go of 5 cards in my hand, because it's okay, and I get my last token and I win the game. But actually, no, you can actually free all your tokens from this Byuyunja. Sometimes you need a bit of help, like having a panda as a passive, like that's when you use all your if you empty your hand, at least you draw back 2, and then you only need well, maybe not 3 more, because it depends what clan you've drawn, but that can help. And there are a few cards that actually go well with this. There's Ashes, where if you've freed a few tokens, in that case you're getting multiple cards of the same clan using Ashes. Like if you have already 3 or 4 tokens, then drawing for level 1 of any clan, well, with this Byunja, it really works well. The one I've talked about also is Smook, where if you have freed 1 token, your Smook is already getting you 3 cards of the same clan, and that can be very helpful. And if you have 4, you get 3 cards of the same clan, and you're able to play again. And maybe if you have something to draw more, then you can easily discard 5 for the Byunja. You can even put play Smook, and then with a token put it on Smook, and you get the 2 extra cards that you need to finish off with your Byunja. Also to note that it combines pretty well with Xian, because once Xian is in play, all your level 3s of the other clans are also multi-clan, meaning even when they're in your hand, meaning that you can discard them for the Byunja. That's where I would say the all-in-one and the Shenong shine a bit, because they play as a joker, giving you whatever clan you need to get up to 5 with this Byunja. So actually this Byunja is a lot stronger than he looks when you start playing the game, and he's actually easier than what you can think of getting him to trigger, and even getting him to trigger multiple times. And that's probably one of the most dangerous Byunja. Once he's in play, he's pretty hard to get rid of, and then when you're playing against, you're kind of in a panic mode where each time your opponent draws, you're kind of afraid that he gets a free token along the way. So actually a pretty strong Byunja. Sometimes losing those 5 cards will lose you the game, so you can't always be tunnel vision, and just when you see you have 5 cards of the right clan, just discard them to this Byunja, because it's a choice. You don't have to do it, but most of the time it's worth it, and you'll get your token, and with that token you'll probably be able to put it on a delister and draw 3, put it on a 1000 faces and draw 3, and kind of go back with that. And then, I don't know, secret shift your delister and draw 3 again, with putting in a Valine that's aiming a Nikilesh, for example, and you already have 5 more cards in your hand. Probably not of the same clan, but at least you have 5 cards, and that can get you back running and get you hunting for those cards of the same clan to get another token on the way. I'm not gonna say with what clans Xian plays well, because basically the answer is all the clans. As I was saying, Xian kind of does a little bit of everything, and so when he just pushes your other clans further on the path that you need when you need it, and that's why this clan is so good. And guess that's it for this clan. Next one up will be Abilasha. See you there.